Perfect. Let's start. I'm happy to have Greg from Aptos and Raul from Chainlink Labs. So the stage is yours, guys.
My name's Greg. I'm the head of developer relations at Aptos Labs. So I spent my time first as a founding engineer at Aptos and spent a lot of time working on building networking and things for the blockchain itself. Originally came from Libra and spent my time at big tech before that. So I love to always talk about tech and blockchains in general, so I'm super excited to be here, especially with Chainlink.
Awesome, yeah. My name is Raul. I do a couple different things at Chainlink. The main two things I do is I manage a relationship with Aave and build whatever it is that they need. And the second thing is I'm the subject matter expert on Aptos at Chainlink for integrations and such. So also super excited to be here. I do speak into a mic often enough, but it's also too often. Thanks. Yeah, so we want to have a quick chat about the integration of Chainlink with Aptos and what that actually unlocks. The main reason why this to us is very relevant, or a big milestone to Chainlink specifically, is because we are building something that we call the Chainlink runtime environment. And that's something that's kind of the amalgamation of 15 to 20 years of work, depending on who you ask. But it's sort of the connection of every single product that we've ever built into a big stack of Lego blocks, where you can take a cross-chain transaction and an automation and some data-related stuff, and just mix it all together into your own workflow, as we call it. And Aptos is actually the first chain where we deployed that, which I think is, for us, a very big milestone because it's live and running today. And I think for Aptos, it's also a big milestone because it unlocks a whole bunch of new use cases for the builders there. I do want to ask you specifically, since you were one of the founding engineers and head of DevRel as well, how do you see the needs of Aptos protocols being different than in other ecosystems?
I mean, so Aptos protocol is very similar to any other ecosystem. The only difference is because it is not EVM and it's UVM, it definitely comes into the space where a lot more things have to be built in order to do it, and you have to have different paradigms that are associated with it. So a lot of times, people will just copy and paste things from one EVM chain to the other, and that's where, especially like Chainlink and CCIP, it makes it very easy for you to be able to communicate between different chains that way. Being able to actually have that connection through CCIP and other building blocks that Chainlink has, it's a lot easier for you to be able to build something across that. So building that way that you can bridge the gap between existing programs and ones that move really help. The other thing is just, having an Oracle and everything built into it as well helps you have all the building blocks for building DeFi apps you would normally want anywhere else.
And maybe also because you were one of the founding engineers, what was one of the hardest things for you to bootstrap in the ecosystem when you guys started out?
I mean, so we had a lot of people in the first launch, so specifically similar to a lot of the Chainlink offerings, we launched with Wormhole and Layer 0 for bridging. It came with a little bit of some quirks that came with it because they were kind of rushed, to be honest, because a lot of the things we launched in 9 months after starting the company. So building something along as the blockchain is changing along the way caused a lot of little quirks about how things build. We changed standards of tokens between then and now. And then we also needed oracles. So we had a couple oracles that started out soon after starting, but being able to have those building blocks would definitely request that people had early on in the ecosystem. And now that we have that, it makes it a lot easier for you to build something else.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think you also see it in the way that, for example, Aave recently deployed to Aptos. And they did that with the Chainlink standard. And I also know that they're soon coming on the cross-chain side, also with CCIP in that particular case. So it's a bit of a bootstrapping game, but then ideally you get there. For us as well, Aptos was a really nice moment to have a clean break with our normal architecture. So it's very differently built than on other chains because we're trying to take advantage of the benefits of Aptos. One of that is it's very fast, quite frankly. So our data feeds in Aptos are also very, very fast. But also if you look at the latency of sending a transaction and landing on chain, it's really good. It's way better than any other chain. I've looked at the data and I'm working with Aave on that, but it's within seconds at most. It's really, really good. And I think that also unlocks a different type of user experience, and you see that as well now with Merkle Trade, but also with you guys building Decibel and others. It's going to give a really good user experience, and it's also very cheap, quite frankly, which is very different than when we originally started out on Ethereum mainnet. Maybe for us, one last relevant bit on the data feed side, we sort of went through 3 different stages of how we did data feeds. One is when we launched on Ethereum mainnet, we did the aggregation on-chain. It was a horrific idea. Every single node would like spam the chain with their answer, and then we did the logic on-chain. At some point, we were doing about 50% of all the gas on Ethereum mainnet. That was terrible. Then we went to this like off-chain OCR design where we did the aggregation off-chain, posted the answer on-chain. And then CRE is really the third way that we do this. It's this off-chain world, but we can do all of these customizations. We can do it much faster. We can plug in more data sources. And maybe also one particular thing is we built data streams like 2 years ago, and it's extremely fast and extremely good. And that's now the core of what we bring to Aptos. So when you deploy like an EVM, you get like a separate data feed, and it like does its own thing, and then every chain it's different. On Aptos, you get the best possible prices you can get, including some top tier perplexes. You're getting the exact same thing that they're getting, but almost at the same speed as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's bringing that like the experience you get off-chain, on-chain with the speed. You were mentioning like the speed that comes with it. So like our block times are 100 milliseconds or something now. It changes every day, so I can never keep up. Last one of these chats I said 200 milliseconds, and I was actually next to a near guy who was like, we got 600 milliseconds. I'm like, okay. But really with the speed, like for when I've tried to bridge something, let's say from Ethereum, so I try to use layer 0, like I can bridge my USDC to Aptos, it takes like 15 minutes, right? And then I try to bridge it back, it took like a second. So like that speed is like real user use case to make it actually useful for you to do it. Because it's scary bridging stuff also when it comes to it. I forget where I was going with this, but I'm glad that you brought that up when it comes to it, and I'm just super excited to see how like Chainlink can bring this to everyone else.
For sure. I think maybe on the bridging part, you mentioned bridging is scary. It's a very weird experience when you're throwing around like a month's of wage and you don't know where the money is and where it's going to go, and sometimes multiple months of wage, depending on how lucky you got on the airdrop. But it's a really weird experience, and that's something that we really built CCIP to try and solve. And since CCIP is built on the same layer, the same stack as well, CRE and everything else, it's something that most TradFi institutions are much more comfortable with than a bunch of like hodgepodge different solutions. One of the things that we announced actually at Cybos, which is ongoing at the same time, it's like all the crypto degens are here and all the institutions are there basically. But what we announced is that together with Swift, we now have an integration with the Chainlink runtime environment where you can reach from your core banking system through CRE to do an entire tokenization workflow directly on chain. So these big institutions like JP Morgan, like a Swift, like a BTCC, quite frankly, they're not going to change. Right? They have COBOL systems. They run incredibly well. They're actually super efficient. I was very surprised when I learned that. And then occasionally a guy with a gigantic beard comes in, is paid $750 an hour to do a little bit of COBOL improvements, and that's it. They're not just going to change to this like new paradigm because they feel like it. They need to feel comfortable interacting with these systems. And because CRE is already deployed on Aptos, it's actually one of the first chains where this can happen. So it's one of the first places where, as a TradFi institution, I can reach out and do something without having to manage private keys, without having to sign up for all these services, without doing all the complicated stuff. I just thought that was very, very cool, actually, specifically on Aptos as well.
Yeah, and that'd be super exciting to see like the TradFi, especially since we have something like 5 or 6 major stablecoins now, because we just announced USD1 yesterday. We had PayPal, the PyUSD, USDC, USDT, all these native, and then USDE as well. So like all those being on Aptos, along with any future ones that may come up, we're really pushing for like having like stables, and then that would be great for having the back-end systems for TradFi, so that way we don't have to be waiting 2-3 days for me to transfer money to you. It can happen instantly.
No, for sure. Maybe a little bit more forward-looking. So Aptos has established itself, I think, very quickly, actually, as a very big player in the ecosystem. Around that time, I sort of became skeptical of new L1s. I'm like, they're probably not going to work. And then Aptos comes around, and there's billions of dollars in TVL and a whole ecosystem being built. Now that you have this base of very good projects, very good infrastructure, where do you guys want to go next? Where is the next level of growth coming from Aptos? Depending on, this is going to be RWAs, this is going to be on the TradFi side, this is going to be like decibels, they're going to drive the billions of dollars of TVL.
I mean, so there's a couple different things that we're working on right now. So yeah, I think RWAs, we're one of the top 10. I'm going to say top 10, I'm pretty sure it's higher than that. RWA.xyz and total value locked in RWAs. Couple different projects there where there's a pack, they do like microloans on chain, prop base, which is based out of Thailand. The founder was somewhere around here. He also does like tokenization of hotels and things like that. So we're really pushing for that, along with stable payments. But as you mentioned, Decibel is a future perp stacks that we're working on right now, coming soon, and that is definitely going to push a lot of that activity there, along with a separate project, Shelby, which you didn't mention, that is trying to build hot storage on Aptos with a collaboration with Jump, and being able to build hot storage rather than cold storage like all existing centralized storage today, and build that as a way that you can actually do a lot more with Aptos.
That's very cool. I think especially the storage use case, you have a couple of these different things like Filecoin and such, but it's never really executed all too well, and it's usually not competitive with like actual Web 2 users.
Yeah, it's like too expensive and too unwieldy, because like Filecoin you have to keep paying, use Arweave, it's a pop with the tokens and it takes forever. You can get it for 99 years, but then like, what are you gonna do? Or IPFS, like if you forget to host it, it disappears. So like having these ways where it's too slow for you to be able to get that information doesn't really work. So for Shelby, we're working with like being able to shard across the world, being able to use high quality like actual fiber optic cables to be able to pull that through, and then that way you can get it similar to S3 speed and similar to S3 cost. So that's where we really work through.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think in general on Aptos, you have like your own little ecosystem. You have your own ecosystem, it's actually quite large, with a number of different like lending markets, a number of different perfexes, a number of different dexes and everything. How do you keep your ecosystem like engaged with your own chain? Like how do you build people who actually stick to your chain?
You know, so that's always a hard thing in any ecosystem. I mean, I love working with a lot of our great teams that we have in the world, like Alpha Team we have here, and other people where we have a bunch of different interactions with people directly in the different parts of the world, and then making sure that we interact with them and keep in touch with them, make sure that they're involved in things. Like, for example, the USD1 announcement that we had, we went and actually coordinated with all the people in the entire ecosystem, make sure they all aligned to launch at the same time, make sure that we get as much out of the announcement and you can use it everywhere as quickly as possible. And that's what's really important.
Sure, I think coordination is a very big part, especially around those types of launches. I really appreciate the time. Is there anything that you've seen in Token2049 that really interests you, or you think is something that will drive a little bit of growth, or at least a little bit of interest in the industry in the coming days?
Well, so I didn't actually have a ticket to the actual events, so I've only been at side events this whole time. It's been interesting. I mean, like for me, like I'm mostly engineering, so I spend a lot of time talking to different teams here at sort of at Aptos events and things. But I'm just super excited to see where our ecosystem is a little bit. Our crypto ecosystem as a whole is less about meme coins and more about trying to build something a little bit more of substance now. I know like AI stuff, but also I think that's definitely the future of not just tokenizing AI. I think that hasn't been great, but being able to build the way that you're doing data collection, or whether it be like AI, robotics, whatever it is, and being able to monetize that in a way that actually makes sense to incentivize people to use it.
Yeah, I think there was the whole AI agent craze for a little bit, and there's a couple ones of those still left over, but I wonder what's the next bit going to be. It also feels like decentralized data ownership and using that to train LLMs and such has been something that I've heard people talk about for a while, but I haven't yet seen it executed.
Yeah, I haven't seen it executed, and I think there's been a lot of smoke and mirrors, to be honest, out of a lot of the teams that have talked about it. I mean, because with AI, you can kind of just say stuff and try to raise money from it, but I think that it's definitely a problem that can be solved that way. I mean, like, you look at groups like Facebook, AWS, whatever, they're collecting huge amounts of data, and they're just like taking it from you for basically the cost of the advertising that you're using, right? But think about it, like if you could be able to collect that data for your own advertising, to other people, and the crazy like advertising markets that they have, being able to collect that data for AI purposes would be great, and definitely somewhere we can market. Like I think it's like $1 trillion something industry. I'm making up numbers, but it's huge, right?
Yeah, depending on how circular you want to get with like a deal with Oracle that goes back into.
There you go.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Again, thank you very much for your time. I know you guys recently also launched an SDK to make building a lot easier on the Groovy ecosystem. Do you want to expand on that a little bit? Or?
Which one are you referring to specifically?
There was a new toolkit.
Yeah, so we built an AI agent toolkit. So we actually did build an AI agent toolkit to be able to make you be able to like basically use cursor or quad code to be able to build an application faster. So it uses all the tools that exist in the Aptos ecosystem and will write contracts for you. It's pretty decent. I mean, you have to fix some things, as with anything with AI coding. Don't go and make yourself a giant Lightning protocol and say, good to go stamp without looking at it. But it definitely helps people build much faster. And it's even helped me making examples and things for people much faster.
I think that's pretty cool actually, because somehow, like we tend to not use LLMs for this type of stuff yet, but if you want to prototype something, if you want to get something out the door, I do feel like a lot of folks have ideas in this space and they don't tend to work on it because they don't have any coding experience. But the code is cheap. You can just put in a couple of requests and you can put that thing out there.
Yeah, I mean,
try it out.
Now there's no reason not to have an MVP, basically, right? Like a lot of people, they would come with you like, here's a Figma, and I'm like, well, you can tell an AI to code something that kind of works and shows at least that the thing makes sense. You should, I think it's definitely different the way that people want to pitch things in the future. Instead of just pitching ideas, they have an MVP that's AI coded and get something done much faster.
So what you're saying is we're post the era where you can launch a white paper and raise $20 million.
Yes, I really hope so.
I hope so too. I hope we can actually at least get proof of concept out the door. Awesome. Again, thank you very much for your time. It was great to have you guys here.
Thank you.
You can catch up with us right after. We'll be around if you want to catch up on Aptos or on Siri.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Thank you everyone for coming here today. Good afternoon. I know I don't have much time, so I will straight to the point. So before going to like any detail, so we are a team from Vietnam, and let's start with like some big picture about Vietnam. So for some of you who doesn't know yet, Vietnam is not only the fastest growing economic in Asia, in the world, but it's also like the most vibrant community when it comes to like Web3 and also like crypto adoption. We have like 20 million people owning digital assets. So and Vietnam like constantly ranked in the top of crypto adoption indexes in the world, like in a lot of reports. And so this is a builder playground and also like a place where innovation meets like with the mass adoption. And Alpha Team was born in this energy. We are not just a community, like we position ourselves as a builder collective. We are a group of like founders, developers, entrepreneurs, and also like business who believe that the future of Web3 is created by people who build, not just people who speculate in it. So our mission is very simple. We want to be the launchpad for the world-class Web3 project building coming out of Vietnam. And we scout talent in the very early stage. We give them resources, we give them mentorship, and like we create a foundation so that they can scale the idea beyond the borders. But like Alpha Team's ambition, we not just stop in Vietnam. We see ourselves as a bridge, like connecting local talent with a global ecosystem, and Aptos with its like scalable infrastructure, with developer-centric approaches, and it's the perfect foundation for that kind of bridge. So, in partnership with Aptos Foundation and ecosystem partner, that's something that we want to build in the next really near future. First is like the builder program and hackathons. So, if you build something on Aptos, please feel free to reach out to any members in Alpha Team, and we are more than happy to support you with that. And besides that, we also have Alpha Team Lab. Is the incubator arm to support promising projects to go from like prototype from hackathon until the venture-backed startup that can go global. And we also want to foster the cross-border connection as well. So we have people from Vietnam, from Japan, from Singapore, from Korea, from China. So we want to like create a group and pretty much like create a network effect for all the people who build on Aptos. And lastly is like we want to create a talent pipeline. We want to onboard like the next 500 developers on Aptos in the next 12 months. and starting with Vietnam, and we want to move like across the Asia as well. And so why do all these matter to you, like for our partners and our friends in Aptos Foundation? Because like Alpha Team is more than just a local initiative. We position ourselves as the engine that can make Aptos the home of builders around Southeast Asia. So I'm here to invite you guys to build the future with us on Aptos. So for project, Alpha Team is your launching community. So when you need like any session, any support in the really early stage, reach out to us. For partners, we are your hook to penetrate into like 20 million Vietnamese market with retail. And like for Aptos Foundation, we position ourselves as the long-term ally to Southeast Asia when you want to like doing Web3 innovation. So yeah, that's pretty much like all I want to share with you guys in the room. So this is just only the beginning, and we are more happy to support everyone. Yeah, thank you for your time.
Sorry about that platform traffic. My name is Claire. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Hyperion. Hyperion is a liquidity and trading layer built on Aptos. We are a platform that combines swap aggregation and concentrated liquidity and also both strategies into one seamless on-chain experience. We started out last year out of the Aptos ANCA Accelerator program in New York City. And since then, we have completed strategic funding led by OPEX Ventures with participation from Mirana Ventures, Maelstrom, and also Aptos Labs. Hyperion is now the largest DEX on Aptos with a TVL exceeding 100 million and a cumulative trading volume over 15 billion now. So right now we have three main product suites, including the aggregator, which is a super aggregator that aggregates the liquidity of all the DEXs on Aptos and also other aggregators. And we launched the concentrated liquidity market maker, which allows LPs to provide liquidity within a certain price range. And we also have a vault strategies in partnership with Goblin Finance, which provides the auto rebalancing strategies for liquidity providers. And in the upcoming weeks, we have a few exciting features launching very soon. For example, the advanced trading features, including the limit order and also the recurring orders. And we also are going to announce a very important security enhancement feature. The name is to be pronounced in October, which is also Aptober, during Aptos experience in New York. And this is basically like a 2FA that enhance the liquidity providers for their position. So even though the user's wallet address got compromised, but the liquidity position is still safe with Aptos. So please stay tuned with us with the updates, and I'll see you guys again in Aptos Experience New York City. Thank you.
Today we'll discuss in this exciting moment about Connect On and what will happen next for DeFi. So today we have great, amazing guests from Signals Finance and Uniswap. Let's do maybe a quick intro for yourself, and we can dive into the questions.
Hey, my name is Gun. You can call me Machine Gun. So I'm doing mostly, my official title is Apex CM, but it's mostly more like country lead growth and everything, growth BD. So we try to like make sure people understand DeFi from like students, we go to lecture about DeFi, blockchain, to like crypto natives, to like private events with the whales, and also I talk to our institution about our product, Uniswap API. So our customer is like 5 blocks OKX. And also talk with the policy about DeFi.
Hi, this is Walter from Signals, and I'm also the lead of the API. And Signals is a modular real year layer and a Web3 first Instagram app layer. And what we've done is to combine the on-chain and on-chain value and to bring the billing resource on-chain. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So let's dive into the first question. As we both work on DeFi ecosystem, so we have seen the DeFi experiencing amazing in the exciting moment right now, and we're also seeing the DeFi has grown a lot of TVL and become more sophistication. But still there's still some problem for the user experience. It's not as familiar for most of people still. So what's your might will be next breakthrough for the UX, how we can make people get into DeFi more effortless. Let's start with.
Okay, so I think like most people they understand AI much easier than blockchain, right? Because AI is you are indirectly directing with the app layer. Whereas blockchain is more like something on the infra layer, something you don't see often. So I think one of the best example would be like if you have to explain internet to normies, it's much easier to like demonstrate like what is Google, what is Amazon. It's like they can use it right away. But let's say like, but we all know that we have like cloud infra like AWS, Google Cloud, power all this behind the scene. So I think that's this analogy we compare to blockchain. Blockchain is the same thing. Blockchain is the infra that power behind the scene. But it's a bit difficult for retail users to understand. I think in the future, I think now some companies you do it. Like you can use, let's say you have like crypto credit card. You basically just go there and just swipe the card. Like that's it. The merchant they can get in fiat, right? And then you pay in crypto. And really all this investable fiat on and off ramp magic, like it's happening all behind the scene. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the trend that I think we see. It's like consumer will not even know that they're using DeFi. DeFi is power all the backbone infrastructure. It's similar to like right now when we use all the internet apps, we don't know like whether they use AWS or they use Azure or they use Google Cloud, right? It's like mostly a chain abstraction and gas abstraction. Because right now it's still very difficult for normies to do this DeFi thing. Like this seed phrase thing is very difficult. So right now we have more like a wallet abstraction. I think like for crypto native, I think we kind of like take it for granted that you have to like self custody, right? It's just pro and cons. It's a pain problem for most of the users, right? I think that's going to be a problem. So we have like more like we copy email solution. I think that's going to be the way. And another thing that I see is more like right now we have like a lot of chains, a lot of apps. For the user perspective, they just want to get like ETH at the cheapest price. They don't care whether it's come from optimism, arbitrage, ETH. Like there's so many chains, right? I think like in the end, Chainlink is one of the powerhouse. So they're gonna make cross-chain so much easier. I think that's gonna be the way.
I totally agree with you guys. It's very good story. And for me, I want to point out two things. First of all, it's about the 1K event experiences. And already know the Chainlink is very famous and very thinking want to do the omni-chain and cross-chain. And in my heart, it's a bad one. And Chainlink is also ready to explore how to do the cross-chain in one click. And for Cygnus, we are also following the pace of the Chainlink to do the same thing. And already have that with the omni-chain, omni-network to do the 1X experiences. So if you guys are familiar with about Cygnus, then you can log into the app and find that you can stake and restate from the different chain just in one step. So that means you need now to do the manual bridging, you now need to do the chain switching, and just in one step and allow the liquidity flow and in a very efficient way and in a very convenient way. Yeah. And second thing I want to point out is about how to bring the users on chain in a very simple way to load it and dive into very familiar experiences and familiar habits of the Web2 users. So that's how maybe bring the users on chain in a social app through the social app. And Cygnus is the first Web3 Instagram app layer. So we use the AA technology to grab the user's Instagram account and to their Web3 wallet. So they can just log in the Instagram and it's already on chain. And for the users, especially for the Web2 users, they can just scroll in the Instagram as URL and it's already on chain. And on chain every action, maybe they like the post, they repost or even they comment to the creator, and every action can redeem the point, and this point can redeem to the real value from maybe the on-chain or the blockchain, and even deployed by the user themselves. And in this way to bring the many users on chain and to try-wise to lower the user entry barriers and the trust barriers. And I believe this kind of onboarding through the social app can be a next spring of the DeFi and definitely can attract a million adoption and to increase the DeFi.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. That sounds really interesting. And both of you have mentioned about the liquidity, like underness, and also thank you for bringing out CCIP to the transfer hub for all those on-chain liquidity. So let's just want to dive more into that liquidity side. For the DeFi world, all the liquidity are fragmented. So there's a lot of projects that choose to do the for the LPs.
So the question is how to solve liquidity fragmentation, right?
Yeah, and the way you solve it, what it means for the applications or for the liquidity providers.
This is a very major topic, right? Like if you ask if Maxi is everything, like oh layer 2 is gonna solve everything. If you talk to the Solana guy, they say like oh we just need one L1. That's it. You don't need like so many layer 2s. When I started like into the DeFi summer around there was almost like no layer 2. It was like optimism, Arbitrum, just that, and now we have like around 60 plus layer 2s. Right now we have too many layer 2s. Some like Blast, for example, it used to be like amazing stuff, and then it's like no one uses it right now. It's like almost dead, right? So I think it's a very very tough question. Right now, I mean for layer 2, I think base is they have a best shot. I think it's base and then maybe optimism, Arbitrum. But at the end of the day, right, like basically at the end of the day, layer 2 they found themselves that it's like a country. If you're France alone, you can't beat America. Somehow you need to form an alliance, right? Like you form a European Union, right? For example, I think I can compare super chain ecosystem as more like a European Union in crypto. So super chain ecosystem, we have like optimism, base, Unichain, we have like a Sora, like a bunch of all the layer 2s. They realize that to fight as a layer 2, you need the chain interrupt, right? So I think super chain vision is that all the liquidity is going to be shared among all these layer 2. Like let's say you want to swap on Sora. If Sora doesn't have much liquidity, so you can get liquidity from like Unichain or Optimism or Base, right? I think that's going to be one of the solutions in the sense that instead of you have just one layer 2, you got a bunch of layer 2 combined to make a super chain ecosystem. Polygon they're trying to do a app layer, and CKC they do like some elastic chain. I think right now super chain is in the lead. So I think that's my take on the liquidity fragmentation. But at the end of the day, I feel like in the next year or two, user will not care about the chain. I mean, like user will just trade, and then all the BBC, CCIP routing, that's gonna make sure that they get the best price. I mean, that's it. User will care about I get the best price. That's it. I don't care whether the liquidity comes from which chain. And for the LPs, they just care about that. They just care about their yield, right? They go where the yield is. I think it's gonna be more like a chain abstraction. Yeah.
And from the zone, she asked us about what's the future about the token tokens and the native deployment which is better, right? I think maybe it's not about one or the other, and in the future, all of this can be it is useful, I think. Because if you talk about the blockchain tokens like the double security, it's a rapid version of the security from the sickness. And we do the liquidity across the chain, and to once the users restate on it, we can deploy the liquidity across the chain. And meanwhile, for some key chains such as the mentioned, the native deployment is also made. And I think for the LPs and developers, what they are concerned about is not about how liquidity can grow, how much liquidity can become in the future, but about the very clear and sustainable incentives that we can provide it. And for the stimulus, we already mentioned that we have our that we are the validation system, and we help users to stake and restake. So once users can stake their liquidity on us, and the liquidity can be deployed across the one blockchain, and we will have provide the very sustainable incentives for them. And for the for the native deployment, I think what they need to do is to make the very standardized real yield and standardized yield stream in it. And this will definitely make the capital use more efficient and in a very faster way, and also will attract more and more LPs, developers, investors to join and with the company. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I guess we are all working very hard to make the liquidity easier for people to use, and making the DeFi be more friendly UX. And within these two things, I think we get all this ready, and the next step is how we reach to more users. There's a lot of successful launching for attract users for tokenizing token incentive or rely on community rally. So especially from the APAC region, we can see all the quite different markets. So my next question is that from your perspective, what methods to in APAC region will be more useful for attracting people to use DeFi?
To do this? So at the first, the social content community, right? Because already mentioned, Signus is the pioneer to do something like social content community to reach users on chain through this kind of Web2 app that users are original about. And I believe, maybe let me talk about why we choose the Instagram because in the APAC, Instagram is very popular, especially among the Generation Z, and especially among the young people. And this kind of people is, I think, is the key categories of the Web3 users, right? And we just use the Instagram app layer to provide to lower the user and barriers and to let the AI technology to let the Instagram account to the Web3 wallet and to do the account files to make our report can be reading to the real wallet. And all of this that we done is to travel back to bring the users on chain in a very easy way and in a very convenient way. And in this way you can maybe to imagine if you would have some problems to remember the situation, it's very long and complex, right? And always you are concerned about the situation. But in the second it can be solved because if you lose your situation, you do not need to remember the situation, or even you do not need to download the actual wallet because you just need to log into Instagram and ready on the chain. And everything that your Web3 users, and if you need to have some security problem, you can just to do the data recovery just in the Instagram, and you just need to remember your Instagram password and account, and you can get all the Web3 things back. Yeah, and so I think the social and the past rules is very important and will be very popular in the APAC. And what we need to do is to maybe to empower the user into their very familiar and very familiar experiences and habits, and to attract the next million users. Yeah.
So to repeat the question again, so it's about go-to-market strategy. How do we get new users to in APAC region? Right? Is that the question? Okay. So first of all, I'm gonna share you the experience. I talked to a bunch of New York companies. They're like, hey Gun, what's your strategy on Asia, right? They ask a very generic question. This question is very bad though, in the sense that Asia is so vast. It's like, so I'm from Thailand, right? I'm gonna say that the strategy that used in Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, Korea, Japan, is all different. There's no two countries are the same. For example, I can give you a case study in Thailand. Like we don't have a lot of traders. So it's trader focused, trader users. In Korea, it's like traders focused and then builders. In Vietnam, it's more, it's a lot of developers, a lot of builders, right? In Malaysia, it's builders. In Singapore, it's like institutions. Japan is institution. So I think first, before we do the GTM, we have to understand the country landscape, like what's the strength, and then we then draft the GTM plan. So one of the, how I get asked this question all the time, like how do we get new users to crypto, right? The best way is the very best way is give them free money, like Aptos, right? And guess what's the most popular crypto project to normies in Thailand right now? Any guess? Sorry? No. Okay, the answer is WorldCoin. So basically, so in Thailand we are a very poor country, so the minimum wage, the minimum wage is like $11 per day, right? $11, right? And WorldCoin, if you scan your eye, if you do your eye scan, I think you get around almost $40. Imagine you live in a country and you're like, oh, that's almost 4 times your minimum wage. That thing is gonna onboard insane amount of normies, right? And it is. I can share some stories. I hope you guys don't look for it. So there's a factory owner in Thailand. He has 500 workers. They're like, okay, we're not gonna work today. They get all the trucks, they get all their workers, and they go to queue for the WorldCoin, right? And then basically each worker they makes $40. He basically there's a guy who's like, oh, I'm gonna buy all your world token for 50%. So you don't have to do all this DeFi onboarding stuff. Some people fall for that. Some people even have to learn how to do it themselves. So then they get the full amount. That's a case story. But in macro landscape, for example, Thailand, the GDP per capita is around 7,000 a year, 7K, right? Vietnam is 4K, Malaysia is like 14. Singapore is exception. Singapore is like 85K, which is like more than the US. So the average income that Singapore makes is even more than the US, right? So I mean, this world coin strategy will not work in Singapore, right? So you have to like targeting, and yeah. I think Singapore is more about like people here is very smart. Like I haven't met dumb Singaporean. I don't know. Singaporeans is very smart. So they are really they have a maybe Singapore is a financial hub. Like they are very well known within the finance space. So I think for them it's more like you have to understand, you have to explain to them like what DeFi project give them the best yield, where the yield coming from. You have to explain a lot of things. That's Singapore. Whereas in Thailand, Vietnam, and Korea, it's just more like maybe you kill our strategy. Because if they trust the KOL, they say like, hey, I'm gonna use the DeFi protocol. This is good. They're gonna use it. It's not much due diligence as much as in Singapore. So basically, the whole answer when it comes is you have to understand the market, know customer behavior, and now you craft the strategy. There's no one size fits all.
Good sharing. Thank you for that. And I think so. I think DeFi as a tool will be useful for both countries like Thailand, like for people who have lower salary or in the financial health in Singapore. They might represent different values. Maybe from Thailand or Vietnam, they are easy to access. But in here, it will be like more less frictions. So definitely there will be great tool, and there are also a lot of Web2 companies. They're already exploring the same thing, like how to grow in different countries, especially in SEA. So I guess we will really need to find some techniques from them and also adopt to Web2 as well. So yeah, I guess my last question here is, we are talking so much about DeFi. We have so many thoughts on liquidation, on the liquidity, the user attraction, the better UX. So in your mind, what will be the DeFi will look like in 12 months? Just maybe take a bold guess. And also as important, what metric and what kind of scenario will prove you are right for your metric?
That's a very good question. I mean, bold guess for DeFi.
And what will prove you are right? So,
okay. I mean, it's gonna be a very general stuff. So I mean, I think DEX to SEC ratio, if you look at last cycle, is around 10%. Right now, it peaked around 10%. I think this number will be up only, given that we have like Project Crypto, we have Clarity Act, we have Genius Act. That's gonna be a general question. The other question is that like where are we right now in the cycle, right? Like if this is not an opinion of Uniswap. I don't think we're top yet. If we top, I mean people on CT call that we are top all the time, right? Like most of the time, if we are top, if everyone call it a top, it's not a top, right? So let's assume that we have more room to grow, which means that Bitcoin is not top yet. Then this is gonna be the same thing all over, right? Because humans, we are driven by greed and fear, right? So people, the retail, they don't like Bitcoin, they don't like crypto at 110. But if Bitcoin hit 160, that's where you see right now, like not many people are interested. If Bitcoin is 160, a lot of room is gonna be filled, right? I think that's gonna be like that's gonna be the normal case, right? In a absolute peak of the bull market, you have a bunch of retail coming. And then probably the third one will be like a lot of the DAT stuff. Right now that the companies, actually imagine you're like a zombie company. You don't make money, you're almost bankrupt, right? And then you just discover that, oh, I can just raise my money to buy Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, Apex, whatever, right? Like the DAT and Meta. That's almost free money for them. That's like because the market is willing to pay about like $150 for $100 NAV, right? Like right now, I think that stuff is still on the rise, and if we have been following, right? So MicroStrategy, they took 5 years, they accumulate 3% of Bitcoin supply, 600k Bitcoin or something. Imagine 5 years, 3%, right? And we have Tom Lee, it's 3 months. 1% something. Like the rate is gonna be insane. Right now we have Solana Treasury, we have Apex Treasury. The cool thing I like about these is that I like about Solana Treasury is that in the sense that the treasury themselves, like Kyle Savani, he actually used that Solana to do DeFi strategy. It's not just sit there like Bitcoin. It's not just sit there. It's actually earning some yield. So I think the yield, the DAT yield meta is gonna come, and that's gonna be more attractive to the ETF because in the ETF you cannot earn anything. I think that's gonna be the meta.
Very good. Very good. I mean, the view of the future. And if I need to do the prediction, I want to say two ways. First of all, it's also about the onboarding way. Because before I already talk about what the significance of the Instagram out there is, and it's not a theory, but we really do some great and really do some fun. For example, we got with the ODS and we do an airdrop campaign, and we totally attract over 1.5 billion users to join us. And what is most important and what is a real surprise for us and want to point out is we totally attract over 10,000 new Web2 users to join in the Web3 as their first action and their first action on the OPS wallet. Yeah. So I want to say in the future onboarding is very important way because we really need to find a way, find an easy way, find a convenient way to help the users on chain. And this is what we need to do for all the protocols and for all the builders of the Web3. Yeah. And to do some metrics of this, I want to say 3 points. First, maybe the first step is about our business itself. So first one is I want to say now we have 7 million followers on our Instagram app there, and we want to maybe to reach out to the 20 million in the next 12 months. And second is now the conversion of the conversion maybe is about the 10% because I already give you some example before, and it's about the 10,000 divided to the maybe the 1.5 million is about the 10%. And in the future, in the next year, we want to raise this conversion to the maybe the 20% to the 60%, and I think it's a very high conversion to the onboarding the next users and especially the next Web2 users of the Web2. And also I want to point out the next prediction is about the data analytics because I think the data can be a new part of the DeFi in the future because the data is very important. And in my view, I think or I predict that maybe in the future the data sovereignty can be back to the user themselves, and they can not own it but can benefit from it. And maybe it's just a new trend as a new wish. Yeah. So to match this point, I want to say maybe in the future the API, the data, or the AI or big data will be more and more stronger, and especially in API. And this will influence the not only the AI related industry but also into Web3 and to the new things that I cannot predict at this moment, but at best it will do some new things that will surprise us.
Great, thank you for sharing. That makes all very exciting. That's today's panel. Thank you for the amazing sharing and thank you for listening. Have a good rest of the day. Thank you guys.
Thank you.